Hello, I'm Tracy Grimshaw. Welcome to A Current Affair. First tonight, parking at your peril. The nationwide money grab, which has drivers all over the country paying staggering amounts in fines. Live now to Tim Avia with the details. Tim?
Yes, Tracy, the latest figures show that all up, Australians are paying more than $132 million in parking fines every year, and that figure just keeps on growing. Now, on one hand, the councils are saying they've never had more complaints about people parking illegally. On the other hand, the number of people complaining about being fined unfairly is also going up. Whatever the case, it seems no matter where you live, it's becoming more and more difficult to overstay your parking meter and get away with it.
They're doing the wrong thing. Everyone's got to be able to park. It's a pain in the arse when you can't park.
Overzealous parking inspectors. Doesn't matter which state you're in or which city you call home.
Generally, people just get tickets for any odd thing.
If you overstay your parking, chances are you'll be their next victim.
$82, that's ridiculous.
Some people probably, make double figures.
Never before have these men and women in the fluoro vests been raking in so much money for their councils.
If you're still not happy with that, you can contest it in court. And chances of winning that is almost zero.
We're seeing there's tremendous amounts of revenue numbers from council, so people are being slugged.
For councils across the country, roads like this one are virtually paved with gold, such as the revenue they can raise here. Some streets are even bringing in more than $1,000 a day. Tonight, we'll show you the top money spinners in your city.
There's days where either people forget or whatever, and then next couple of days everyone's paying, which is fine. That's exactly what the council want.
Yep, overstaying the parking meter is something so many of us do when that appointment goes too long or you're stuck in a line at the shops. You just have to hope these council revenue raisers don't notice.
It's not always the same person every single day that parks here, so...
Do people blow up at you?
Oh, you get it, yeah, look, but hey, look, I've got to do a job and...
Problem is, from Brisbane to the Gold Coast, Sydney, Melbourne, Perth and Adelaide too, they're paid to find you and fine you, whether you're a minute over or have been there for hours. And with the number of fines skyrocketing across the country, they're cracking down harder than ever before.
And nobody understands. It's not well signposted.
It's not just drivers suffering either. Cheryl Lacey's suburb, Kangaroo Point, is in a 2-hour parking zone in Brisbane. As a result, she can't have more than 2 visitors on a permit at any one time, unless she gives 2 weeks' notice.
It really has to be more than 14 days because you have to get an application form, fill it out, lodge it, and then they send you an additional however many visitor car parks you want.
How ridiculous is that?
It's extremely ridiculous. It's ludicrous.
So exactly how much is your council making, and which areas are bringing in the big bucks? Well, in Brisbane, the council is on track for a record parking fine haul. Already this financial year, they've pulled in more than $23 million.
I think it's rubbish that we get fined so heavily.
The biggest revenue raisers include Charlotte, Margaret and Elizabeth Streets, but the #1 title goes to Colchester Street in South Brisbane. That's where we found this bloke handing out tickets. They're saying this street here is the most expensive street in Brisbane in terms of people getting fined.
Because people either forget to come and pay their meters or things like that, so yeah, because it's only, as you said, like either 2p or something like that.
Michelle Owens is one who forgot, returning to a nasty surprise. Did you park here often?
No, I don't. It's my first time. It'll be my last, that's for sure.
Further south, the Gold Coast City Council isn't missing out, pulling in $11.9 million last financial year. And they're not revealing the streets laying their golden eggs either, refusing to tell us where they're handing out the most fines. The City of Sydney Council is also doing okay for itself. It pulled in $36.4 million last financial year. Its biggest earners, Pitt Street, Castlereagh Street and Kent Street. And true to form, the afternoon we visited, ticket inspectors were out in force.
On one hand, it's not fair. On the other hand, it helps councils bring in revenue for the council.
If they're parking in disabled and other non-parking, that's not good. No, they should get fined for that. But it's just a revenue grab.
Down in Melbourne, the yearly figure grows again. The council issued 408,722 tickets, translating into $43 million in fines.
That's a lot of money. Yes, and they keep going up, don't they? Yeah, so it's a money grab, I think.
We cannot run the business. It's not even an option anymore.
Belinda Bottos is one Melbourne woman who knows all about parking pain. She believes inspectors target her Mentone hair salon in the southeast, booking staff and customers.
We've tried to negotiate permits, but it hasn't been successful at all.
Hair salons aside, Melbourne's drivers should be aware inspectors are most likely to be found in Lonsdale Street, Queen Street and Elizabeth Street.
Oh, I think it's a bloody good idea, I reckon.
Do you reckon?
Oh,
yeah.
I reckon. Get the cars out of the city. We use public transport.
In Adelaide, the most recent figures show inspectors handed out more than 209,000 fines, worth more than $10 million.
Oh. What time was that?
10 minutes, well, missed it by like 15 minutes.
Hindmarsh Square, Pirie Street and Gouger Street are the top money spinners.
Moved it because I moved it when I was on my lunch break.
You can and contest it, but I've got a serial time-wise entry.
And the parking inspectors aren't ones to back down, as this woman discovered when she tried to dispute a fine for overstaying a 2-hour zone.
Because it couldn't have been that you have moved 1.5 hours and I've given you a ticket. Half an hour difference.
150% you have,
you can
but...
Yeah.
Perth recorded a relatively small total. It's 8.3 million, even lower than the Gold Coast. Its biggest hotspot is the CBD rectangle of St George's Terrace, Wellington, William and King Streets.
If motorists are willingly doing the wrong thing and knowingly parking in a spot that they know they're not entitled to, then they have to expect to be fined.
Joe Fitzgerald from the RACQ says Australian cities have some of the most expensive parking in the world, and that often the punishment for overstaying the meter doesn't fit the crime.
So say if you parked in a 4-hour park and you've paid, you're 10 minutes late to that, well, don't charge them a $70 fine, maybe just charge them for the extra little bit of time that they took.
So which are Australia's most lenient major councils?
It's all about that stress of worry that we're taking away as a council.
Well, Mayor Darren Lyons says Geelong and Victoria gives motorists a 15-minute grace period, while Logan's Mayor Pam Parker has ruled out metered parking altogether.
Logan's 35 years young and we've never had paid parking. And whilst I'm there, it will remain that way.
But for the rest of us, we'll just have to keep on filling up those expensive meters or find another way to travel.
Maybe I'll just have to bust it in next time.
And if you believe you've been unfairly fined, then please send us an email.